selection from tomorrow night's film, Force 10 from Navarone, and that'll be starting at 7:15. Well, it's Saturday night tonight, so why don't we go completely OTT?
Well, OTT went onto our screens at 11 o'clock last Saturday night and was met with a storm of protest. Scenes of mindless brutality, young, barely formed girls being covered in custard, and in particular, 3 naked men flaunting themselves in front of a stunned audience shocked millions of viewers. And tonight, we talked to the people responsible for last week's programme. Lenny Henry.
Well, I think it's a bit hypocritical, actually. I can't see what all the fuss is about. I've seen far more outrageous things go out earlier on in the evening.
Right.
John Gorman.
After all, it is 1982, not 32.
Bob Carolgees.
Well, my mum's very straight and she loved it.
Helen Atkinson-Wood.
From a woman's point of view, it's a refreshing change to see naked men on television. Programmes usually so full of girls running about with no clothes on.
True.
Chris Tarrant.
Well, obviously it's a shame that none of those people who were so horrified by it last week will be watching again tonight. All it was ever supposed to be was just a bit of fun, really, and I thought the balloon dances were magnificent.
Well, those are just some of the opinions of the cast. And now, at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, it's time to go OTT!
Hello, good evening. You join us at the end of a very, very long week when Horlicks signed up Sebastian Coe, a man who shows people a clean pair of heels, and a double-breasted suit maker signed up Erica Rowe, who shows people a clean pair of something altogether more exciting.
And in a week when an engaged couple in Cornwall gave the nation's scriptwriters a field day by announcing on the coldest day of the year that they had broken it off.
And this week I've been talking to a man who's so stupid he's got the IQ of 3 High Court judges.
What was that? Woo! And in a week when Ken Dodd said he was searching for an odd-looking dummy with an unusual voice, and Barry Manilow flies in and applies for the job.
And you join us on a particularly unpleasant snowy day when even the most sophisticated of aeroplanes were unable to take off, but the Stork still managed to get to Anaforda. You may or may not have seen the report we spotted earlier this week, which revealed that every man and woman in this country spends an average of 17 minutes a day dealing with red tape. And apparently in 1982, it's going to get even worse.
OK, Granny, fill this up. I said, fill this up.
I heard you the first time, young man. I'm waiting for another word.
All right. Fill this up, please.
That's better. Now, have you got an account here?
No, I...
Access, is it?
No,
Barclaycard?
no, I...
American Express?
Shut up, you pen-pushing geriatric. I'm a bank robber.
Oh, why didn't you say so in the first place? Now, if you're a bank robber, we'll have to be filling one of these forms in. Withdrawal by robbery.
I haven't got time to mess about.
I'm afraid you'll have to.
I've got a car outside with the engine running. The petrol's costing me a fortune.
I can't help that. Now, rules are rules. For all I know, you may not be a bona fide bank robber. Now, name?
Margaret Thatcher.
Thatcher. Address?
Taj Mahal.
Mahal. Age?
22.
Come. You can't expect me to believe that.
All right, 33.
Yes, I see. Occupation? Oh, and I suppose that must be bank robber.
No, could you put down illegal transactions advisor? Put finance in brackets, if you could.
Finance. Section D. When you're carrying out robberies, do you normally threaten violence?
Listen, Granny,
If you don't shut up and stop asking me stupid questions, I'm going to ram your till down your throat. I'm going to strangle you with your nicky leg and I'm going to blow your brains out.
Oh, do you? Yes or no?
No!
Right. Now then. How much do you want to take out?
10,000 quid.
Yes, certainly. How would you like it?
Dirty oncers.
10,000 dirty onsters. Right, very well. Could you sign here, please?
Yes, of course.
There we are.
Thanks very much.
Aye. Margaret Thatcher, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Alias Napoleon Bonaparte. Alias Mohammed Ali. Alias Basil Brush.
All right, go on, arrest me.
Arrest you? Oh, no. Not until you've filled in one of these forms. Right, name.
That was written in a... Oh, that one was written on a beer mat in the early hours of this morning. Nobody sleeps when we're on, Sunbeam. Here's the Blues Band!
Find yourself another fool. They're gonna be round and be treated cruel. Here's what you got to understand. I'm piling up your master plan. Find yourself another fool. Find yourself another clown. Ain't gonna be here to be pushed around. Search this land from east to west. You had the best, not trying to rest. Find yourself another clown. I used to smile all the while, till I met you now I'm crying all the time, I'll never forget you, you're messing up my mind and you're wasting precious time. Have I got news for you? Our love affair is through. Find yourself another fool. Ain't gonna be round to be treated cruel. Now I can hear you when you call my baggage practice in the hall. Find yourself another fool. Find yourself another fool.
Modern romantics and stuff like that. That's the Blues Band. You'll be seeing a lot more of them later on. Also a clip of them when they used to be called, at least two of them used to be called Manfred and Man.
Hello, here we go. It's PC Flood here, your
Hello,
local community copy.
Hello.
Hey, I'm really popular down at Ladswick Toxic, you know. Yeah, I was talking to one of them only this afternoon. And he said, PC Flood, you're a real brick. And then he picked me up and chucked me through his shop window.
John Gorman, they're a man with the comic timing of a...
PC Flood.
PC Flood, sorry, I didn't recognise you, guys. PC Flood, they're a man with the comic timing of a jam donut. Very gratifying, actually. One of the things that we weren't sure about last week, one of a number of things we weren't sure about last week, was whether or not we would get a large response to a competition, whether or not people could be bothered really and truly at this time of night, grown-ups, to actually fill in postcards and things. I think by Tuesday we'd had just over 18,000 postcards around for the competition we set last week, so it did prove to us that if nothing else, the people who watch this are very, very greedy. We did actually get more than 300 correct answers, something that I thought was very, very difficult. We showed you a clip of film from a very famous band and asked for their real names. Have a look at them again, and we'll tell you what the answer was as we go. That's right. It ought to have been simple enough. A lot of you thought it was simple enough. In fact, 17,700 of you thought it was simple enough, but it wasn't, in fact. The other 300 were right. Have a look at it again, and just have a look in particular at the drummer. There, have a look at him. You see, it's not him, is it? No. Ooh. It's not the one with the big nose. A lot of you thought that was Ringo Starr, and you give us all these things about Richard Starkey. It's actually a bloke called Jimmy Nicol. That bit of film dates back to 1964. The Beatles were on tour in Holland, if you remember all that, long, long time ago, those of you who remember these things. That was when Ringo had tonsillitis, and Jimmy Nicol was a Beatle for about a fortnight. Quite nice, actually. During the course of the programme last week, in fact, immediately after we showed that, Jimmy Nicol himself rang up from Liverpool and said, I'm just filling in the postcard, am I eligible? We said, no, you're not. It's rather nice to know that he was watching the programme. Anyway, 300 people got that right. We picked the first 3 out of the bin on Wednesday, in fact.
Right, and the winner of last week's competition is Candida Brown of London. Well done, Candida. And the 2 runners-up are Joanna Thatcher from Bromsgrove and David Smith from Warrington in Cheshire. Yummy.
These Thatchers seem to be breeding all over Britain at the moment, don't they? There's a special bonus prize, actually, for all 3 of those. Oh, thanks, the drinks are around. Thanks very much. Special bonus prize for all 3 of those. You'll be able to see the winner, and in fact the 2 runners-up, rolling about a bit later on in gratuitous custard or whatever. Personally, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously a lot of appeal to this custard. I mean, I can take or leave it. There's absolutely nothing for me whatsoever, but apparently it seems to entertain people. I don't know. It seems to upset a lot of other people. Personally, I can take this neither here nor there. To me, a little custard is very welcome, and an excessive custard, I think, is unnecessary. Will you please welcome Africa's leading comedy impressionist? Will you please welcome Joshua Yarlog?
Good evening, my friends. Katanga. 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 Thank you. My full name is Joshua Zimbabwe Okapi Yarlog, but my wives call me Sleepy. At least the last 15 always do. Katanga. Katanga. Okay, Putiwenge, Putanga, calm down. Munga. Thank you. A funny thing happened to me as I was rushing to Zimbabwe airport. I ran over a zebra crossing, killed the damn thing stone dead. Katanga, Katanga. Sorry about that. Just went to Africa for a second. Katanga. No. Ulabanga Budungo Budingi. Katanga. No, I had a beautiful flight over here, my friends. I had a beautiful flight. And when I was in the airplane, a funny thing happened. I was in the airplane and I fell asleep. And I dreamed I had to bail out. And as I parachuted down, I knew my end was in sight. The wind had blown my grass skirt up over my head. Katanga, Katanga. No, Walanga, Katanga, Walanga. And I tell you, the good thing about being over here in your wonderful country, right, is I listen to your radio and it's really progressive. You know what I mean? It's really good. They play really good music. I heard this guy called Adam and the Ants. He has some really good makeup ideas, you know. I think he's really cool. And I heard this song and it went, wrap it up. I thought, where the hell did he get my phone number from? Katanga. Katanga. Remember, in Zimbabwe, every day is a Mugabe. Okay. Okay, now for the impressions. First of all, I'd like to do my world-famous impression of Ken Dodd. By Jove, missus. No, Katanga. No, wait. Katanga. Katanga, Ulabanga Budungi. No, there's more. By Jove, missus, I really am. They can't touch you for it. It really is wonderful to be here. What a lovely day, missus. What a lovely day for dressing up as a gorilla, running into David Attenborough's bedroom with a camera going, click, click, now, how do you like it? Thank you, Ken Dodd. And now for my world-famous impression, Mr. Bobby Ball. Katanga, Katanga, once again, Katanga. You will do for me, Rakantanga. Thank you, Katanga, Katanga. No, wait. Wait, it gets better. I've got a joke for you, Tonga. What do grass skirts have instead of zip fasteners? Give in? Green flies. It is funny, Tonga. It is funny. I'm gonna get you after. Don't get me annoyed. But now, this is me. Kambao, Umbutue, Angawa now, Mandinga Highway, but no, Katanga Wo, I'm in Zimbabwe. Katanga, my friends. Katanga.
To sum up what you have heard, there is no question, young man, that you have willfully disregarded a most solemn law of this land. You have admitted quite brazenly that you revealed more of yourself than is legal to this elderly spinster as she sat half dozing on a park bench one Tuesday lunchtime. Yet this very act of dozing almost inevitably excited you with its suggestions of sleep and therefore bed. And the very fact that she was sitting in a park so closely associated with courting couples, alone, quite alone on a bench, built clearly for more than one person, clutching a rolled up umbrella, an obvious fertility symbol, and a handbag made of leather, could not help but provoke you. What have things come to in this country when a man cannot go quietly about his lawful business without his attention being seized by some half-dozing wanton Delilah such as this, sitting there smelling of vapor rub in her rustling petticoat and whalebone body corset? Is there any wonder, then, that you felt the urge that any other normal red-blooded male would have felt in such steaming circumstances? It is women like you who undermine the very fabric of an ordered, decent society. You will go to Holloway Prison for 10 years. And if any other scheming Jezebels come before this court, they'll get short shrift from me.
Okay. Here's a Volkswagen that's big enough. The new VW fastback sedan. It seats 4, with more room for elbows and legs. It's pretty jazzy, too. Has an electric clock and even wall-to-wall carpeting. The fastback also has the most powerful engine we've ever made. It's air-cooled. Goes 27 miles on a gallon of gas, which is pretty good for a car that can go 84 miles per hour. Since we made a VW that's a little roomier in the inside, we decided to do the same thing on the outside. It's got a trunk up front where most cars have their motors. And in the back, where most cars have their trunks, we have a trunk, a large trunk.
Good morning. We're Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, perhaps you could spare us just a little bit of your time?
Yes, I'd be very pleased to, my friends.
Okay.
Pardon?
Yes, I really would like to know more. Excuse me while I get rid of...
Well, no, there's honestly, absolutely no. Oh, God.
What are we going to do now?
The pamphlets.
The what?
Give him one of the pamphlets.
Oh, shit. Don't you bring the pamphlets?
Me?
Yes, I used to have them, but then you said you bring them.
When did I say that?
Well, 5 years ago.
Look, I tell you what. Just tell him about the word of Jehovah.
What? How
Oh, yeah, the word of Jehovah. What's the word of Jehovah?
The word of Jehovah, don't you know?
Oh, I know, yeah. It's prayer preceded by ablutions 5 times daily.
Correct. Prayer preceded by ablution 5 times. No, it's not. That's Mohammedan. Oh, Christ.
What?
Christ, the second coming of Christ.
The second coming of Christ.
Correct.
What's that mean, then?
Well, it means, oh, God, I'll be here in a minute.
Oh, Christ!
No!
In there?
Oh, I'm fed up with all this mumbo-jumbo.
What's
that?
that?
Moon?
It's all mumbo-jumbo? Well, I'm certainly into the mumbo-jumbo and the voodoo. Come on in, my friends. We'll sprinkle the cockerel's blood all over the body. We'll boil up the goat's horns and the sheep's intestines and the rat's tails. It's great. I've got the pamphlets. Sign on the dotted line, and you too can learn how to casserole your grandmother in 61 different ways. Come on, my friends. We'll rotate.
There she was, just walking down the street singing. Tapping her fingers and shuffling her feet singing. She looked good, she looked fine, she looked good, she looked fine, and I nearly lost my mind. Before I knew it, she was walking next to me singing. Natural after me singing. We walk on to my door. We walk on to my door. Then we kiss a little more. Oh, I knew we was falling in love. Yes, I did, and so I told her all the things I've been dreaming of. Now we're together nearly every single day. Single day singing. Oh, we're so happy, and that's how we're gonna stay singing. Well, I'm hurt, she's mine. I'm hurt, she's mine. Wedding bells are gonna chime. Oh, yeah.
All sorts of nostalgia tonight. This audience tonight is supposed to average 18 years old. Hello, we're still on that one over there. I told him to change that before we did the dress run. This audience tonight is supposed to average 18. We're all singing along with all the words of that. I don't quite understand it. As you probably noticed, Paul and Tom, they're already in the blues band, looking a lot younger on that, actually. May the good Lord... I was going to say, may the good Lord strike me down. It's not on the point, really. Talking of things Episcopal... Can I say Episcopal?
No, you can't. Yes, you can.
Talking of things to do with the church... one of the most extreme reactions to the first transmission last week of OTT came from the pastor of a local, I'm going to have to say it again, aren't I? Local Pentecostal, I can say Pentecostal, can I? Pentecostal church, who on Sunday morning, I haven't got the clip of the actual paper there, prayers for an end to OTT, there it is. This gentleman actually, and I respect him for whatever, the Pastor Ron Williams, he refused to preach on Sunday morning. He had a sermon all lined up, but he refused to preach and send his entire congregation home so that they could pray for an end to OTT. There is a theory, actually, that in actual fact he hadn't got his sermon ready and couldn't think of anything else to do. What?
My child! Children, I want you to look at this child and pray this is a child of sin. Because as it says in the Bible, the flesh is willing, the mind is weak, the soul is disgusting, but I'll be watching next week.
And now it's time to beat your brains out! as you probably gathered, you probably gathered from all this gratuitous violence. Do you stop doing that, Henry? Sit out. Hello there, Algernon. You probably gathered from all this. That is actually the signal for a competition. Every time we set competitions on this particular programme, well, the first time we said it, it seems to go completely mental. Right, we'll be asking you a question at the end of this and showing you this week's very, very special star prize. But first of all, have a little look at this piece of film. It's set about nearly 20 years ago, and it's from a documentary all about teenagers.
Lady Lewisham, what do you think about our teenagers?
I think they're splendid. And I'm delighted you've asked me that question, because I sometimes think they get rather a raw deal.
Oh, why?
I've met very many teenagers up and down the country when I've been travelling around, and I've been always particularly struck by their enthusiasm about everything, by their new ideas. I like the ideas they want to wear gay clothes, and it is in this country ideas that we certainly need. And I think that, after all, one must remember the extraordinary things that one's parents and grandparents did, all their latest crazes, which seem to us just as extraordinary now. I'm always very bored with people who say, oh, young people aren't what they were in my day.
Old lady.
We want to know what that rather odd lady's name is now, and what relation is she to Prince Charles?
What's that rather odd lady's name now? Well, she's not that odd. She certainly probably didn't seem odd at the time. What's that lady's name, and what's her relation to Prince Charles? Postcards only, please. We must stress that, and we will pick the winners out by first post on Wednesday morning, so you have to get out in all the snow somehow over the weekend and pop them in the post. Or must show you the prize. Excellent, this prize we found.
It's really great, this one is.
We're giving away a signed copy of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Lenny signed it, I've signed it, Helen signed it. But also, have a very big mouth. Have a little look at this. It's actually a nice little truck, and when you press the button that says on...
That's in the middle of a track seat, too.
Put it on the end, hang on.
It started.
This is the stuff. Today, check it, check it, check it,
well,
check it. A little bit of reggae there for the masses.
Turn it up, Len. Turn it up, Len. That's this week's prize. Postcards only, please. Our address, of course, as usual. Somebody just looked at me over there, so we're 14 minutes over. Our address, of course, as usual, is OTT, Central House,
Broad Street. Hang on, yes, Street.
It's taking us a long time to get used to this address, but it doesn't really matter. Central House, Broad Street, Birmingham, B1 2JP.
Knockers on that!
OTT, Central House, what was that? OTT, Central House, Broad Street, Birmingham, B1 2JP. But now will you please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Alexis Sale.
Thank you very much. Have you seen the state of this place? It's like school dinners at a public school, you know. I'm going to be Home Secretary, yeah. I'm going to be Willie Whitelaw, the human tortoise. Whoa! Riots. Whoa! Back to sleep, yeah. But, I don't know if you know this, but I actually work for a commercial radio station in London. It's called Capital Radio, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Capital Radio's favourite charity. It's called Help a London Child, Kill a Social Worker. It's a very good cause, I think you'll agree. I think they're wonderful commercial radio stations. You know, like they have 9-hour phone-ins about some new shoes somebody bought in a sale. Can I say something vicious about racial minorities? No, bugger off. Boom. I never really wanted to work for commercial radio. I really wanted to work for the BBC, but they wouldn't have me because, see, the thing is, to work for the BBC, right, you have to have been to either Oxford or Cambridge and a public school. On the grounds, you're going to be all right, you know, politically. Unfortunately, the KGB has got exactly the same idea. Don't know if you remember some of the great radio shows of the 40s, like Bandwagon Brezhnev Comrades, you know, with Golden-Hearted Burgess and Stinker McLean. Oh, what a glorious thing to be, busy working for the KGB. No, I don't remember them serials either, no. Anyway, I've been travelling around Britain again, looking for what's trendy for you, you know. Notice, by the way, I don't say Great Britain, you know, because I think that's a really weird imperialistic concept, Great Britain, you know. I mean, nobody says bloody brilliant France, do they? You know, or not bad Italy. Stupid, isn't it? I mean, it can't be that great, you know, 3 million unemployed and the country being run by a lunatic, you know. That's it, thank you. That wasn't funny, that was just satire, you know. I don't know if you remember satire, you know, it was very big in the 60s, you know. In fact, I don't remember if you remember the 60s. You remember the 60s, you know, when you used to dress up in your tie-dye caftan, you know, and you had a necklace made out of brown rice, you know. And you had big flared trousers, you know. You felt like $1 million and looked like a right dildo. Actually, if you've got anybody else you want offending, send it in to me. All right. I'll tell you the thing. Thank you very much. I think the thing that's going to be very trendy in 1982 is unemployment, right? You know, I think there's a couple of judges that should be unemployed for a start. You know, I think they're wonderful, our English judges.
Well, yes, I don't see why they should have cheap bus fares, no. My nanny carries me everywhere. Nanny, can you change my trousers, please? Seen some rioters, woo!
We've, round our way, we've actually got a youth opportunities programme. It's actually called Rioting, and to kind of alleviate the rioting, the police have actually introduced community policing. Now, what happens with this is that a transit pulls up, a load of coppers pile out, right, pin you to the ground and try and tell you the frigging time. But also, in an effort to reach the community, you know, the police have been organising fashion shows, and everybody round our way calls them copperware parties. I think the main danger with unemployment, really, the main danger is the terrible boredom, you know, and what happens with boredom is that it can very easily lead to drug abuse, right? And I'm actually very heavily into drug abuse myself, you know. No, I am. I'm really heavily into drug abuse, you know. I keep running into Boots and shouting insults at bottles of paracetamol. Thank you. Good night.
I don't like my job very much, but I have discovered a way of defeating boredom and all its vicissitudes. I think about sex. I try to think about sex all day. When I see a nice buxom girl like her, I mentally undress her and imagine myself chasing her entirely nude through fields full of daisies. Or, if I'm in a more jocular mood, I might imagine myself throwing custard tarts or similar confectionery at her. I also like to reflect on naked ladies exercising on trampolines. This is very exhilarating and quite good exercise, they tell me. To variate my mode of thoughts, I find it satisfying to contemplate wandering gaily around amidst a profusion of bodies in a state of wanton abandon. Quite nice, this. As an aid memoir to my mental perambulations, I keep the complete works of the Marquis de Sade in plain wrappers, secreted amongst my egg and tomato sandwiches. I have found that both voyeurism and indecent exposure can be chilly in cold weather. I don't think about those too much. Transvestism, whilst being exciting, can sometimes lead one to embarrassing situations. I must say, as the occasion demands, it is not entirely unpleasant to promote thoughts of a little chastisement by a female lady in fishnet stockings. I usually save this thought for afternoon tea breaks. Good heavens, it's 5 o'clock. How time flies when your mind is fully occupied.
Is that you, Henry?
Yes, my dear.
Oh, Henry, darling. How handsome you look framed in the doorway. Oh, I could hardly wait for you to come home today. You look so ravishing tonight. Take me, Henry, take me.
Not tonight, beloved. I had such a hard day at the office.
Hello? What? White House? In Washington? Oh, I'm sorry, Mary White House. Hello, Mary, my darling. How are you doing? Yes, it's me, Algernon Winston, Homo, Daz, Persil, whiter than white, Razzmatazz here. Just a minute, darling. I'm seeing to it right now. This is disgusting. It shouldn't be allowed. And I expect you ringing up about last week's show. What's that? You didn't see it? Well, darling, it was really great. You see, we had a fella come on and pour custard all over a girl in a bikini. Man, I've never seen such lumpy custard. What's that, darling? Were there any innuendos in the show? No, darling, we're all English. Who needs biting satire when you got stuff like this? What, any rude things in the show? Well, there were one or two little things did slip out now and again. No, darling, not in the balloon dance. What's that, any rude complaints from lady viewers? Well, Mrs. Thatcher rang up. She said there was far too much inflation. Are you watching the show, darling? Oh, you're not? What's that? What's that? You're watching Michael You-Know-Who on the other side. What's that? He's sitting there with only... And Henry Mancini's only got a... And Jacqueline Bisset sitting there with 3... Well, I tell you what, sitting there with just 3 balloons on in this weather, no wonder they call it the Parky Show. What? It's taking over the whole damn world.
Hello! Hello and welcome once again to Thanks for... People say, what day did you... Hello and welcome to Thanks for dropping in. And tonight on TDFI, we meet the winners of last week's Beatles competition. It was quite clever the way we throw all this together. So will you please welcome Joanne Thatcher, an unfortunate name, Joanne Thatcher from Bromsgrove. David Smith, they're all here tonight. David Smith from Warrington in Cheshire. The dirty, scruffy one in the middle. And Candida Burrows from London. Whereabouts are you from in London? Forest Hill. Forest Hill, a lovely spot. I know, the garden of England. As ever, aiding and abetting, I say as ever, we only did it once, that was last week. Aiding and abetting the contestants will be Lustful Larry, our resident lifeguard, and the elegant Count Custard. The snow outside tonight is still getting thicker, but it's still not half as thick as our contestants. All you have to do tonight, just like last week, all you have to do is answer a few simple questions, but unlike any other quiz game, if you answer correctly, you get absolutely nothing. If, however, you get one wrong, you not only do you get armfuls of consolation prizes, but your silt tilts forward. Your seat tilts forward. Your seat, it's not easy to talk with a mouthful of this stuff, they just sprayed in. Your seat tilts forward like so. Can we have a little look at that? There you are, very gently, that's right. And you should fall, if you should fall into this appalling, evil-smelling goo underneath you, we shout, soggy, 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 and they all go, oi, oi, oi! Rate this on a beer mat as well. Soggy, soggy, soggy. Oi, oi, oi! Right, there you are. Oh, and tonight's star prize, let's have a look at that, Lustful Larry. Tonight's star prize, the right way round if possible. It looks better that way. Great sausage-fingered fool. That's right, it's one of those again. Ooh. This is a job lot we've got advertised on Police 5 and we can't get rid of them, so we keep them until we get through them all. Right, so there you are, that's tonight's star prize. Now let's go on. So there you are, that's tonight's star prize. You get ever so fed up upstairs if you do that. Right, I've got my questions here somewhere amongst all this. Dear, oh dear. Hey, you've never seen Bob Monkhouse working like this, have you? From which football club has John... Where are we? Joanna, pay attention. Are you paying attention? I wish you had. From which football club has John Barnwell just resigned as manager?
Farm Green Football Club.
No, pathetic. Sorry, nowhere near you plank. Sorry, I was going to tell you about that, not to worry. David, what's the river that flows through the city of York? What's the river that flows through the city of York? Sorry, no, it's the River Ouse. Who opened the 1982 boat show?
Me.
No, it wasn't. It's an institution we brought into. Where is it from? On the end, my darling. Oh, dear, it's very difficult to keep this going. Who's the leader of the Greater London Council? That's Ken Livingstone. Oh, I'm not even going to try with that one. Who is the former husband, where are you, David? Who is the former husband of Mia Farrow, who is remarried in Philadelphia?
Lee Majors.
No. Which member of... Soggy! Oi, oi, oi!
Soggy, soggy, soggy!
Oh, well, that seems to have cleared that up. We were going to go on to the semi-final, but it's not on a point now. Which means that tonight's winner of Thanks for Dropping In is Candida. Well done, good girl. Not the front. Soggy, soggy, soggy! Oi, oi, oi! Soggy, soggy, soggy! Oi, oi, oi!
You all right? What I'm going to do tonight, this is very clever because this is not only a card trick, but it's also mind reading. Now I'm going to come amongst you. Lost you, bro. I'm going to... Now, would you, sir... It is, sir, isn't it? Would you think of a card? Think of any card. Are you thinking of the card? Don't tell me what it is. Are you thinking of it? What are you laughing at? You're thinking of it? I'm going to tell you what the card is now. Are you ready? Mind reading. It's the King of Spades. Now then, there's a little clip here from Airplane. It's a fabulous film, Airplane. I'm seeing it. You want to see this? It's fantastic.
More. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get...
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone.
everything's gonna be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself. I've got to get out of here. I'm out of here. Out of here. I've got to get out of here.
Ah, there you are. That's a clip from Airplane, one of our favourite films. It's doing the rounds again. So try and catch that if you haven't already seen it. It's well worth a second peek. Absolutely drenched. Never mind. I suppose it pays the wages or something. Right, now, somewhere amongst this lot, we should have the BPITA award. Have you sorted that out, floor manager? Has he got that? Look at the look of sheer panic on his face, all the colour draining from his cheeks. Well, never mind, we'll give away 2 BPITA awards next week, shall we? Yes, right, fine. Simple little thing. They completely made a nonsense of that. Right, OK, now it's time to catch up once again with Trevor McDonald.
Good evening. I've got the blues, y'all. Play that gut bucket jelly roll music, baby. Reports coming up. My name is McDonut, and I read the news. But I'd really much rather be singing the blues. It's this stiff upper lip that makes me talk posh. The secret's hair lacquer on my moustache. Boogie! Night after night, I speak to the nation with my impeccable pronunciation. I bring you the news of government cuts and the latest reports on Jeff Boycott's guts. Reports coming up. Calm down. We've just had startling news in from Switzerland. The management of the famous Zurich Theatre, where the girls dance dressed only in 3 pocket watches, have sacked the stage manager for taking time off. And a burglar today broke into the premises of the Paris Gay Lib Club in Paris, but luckily only got away with 20 francs, 14 Nigels and 6 Clarences. Rock and roll, come on, get your hands together. I want to hear you. Let's hear you boogie. Let's get down. I want to hear you. Come on. The ITN blackout was a catastrophe. All my colleagues kept bumping into me. When we had strikes before, I never got bored. I sat knitting booties for my friend Anna Ford. And that's the end. That's the end of the blues. Good night.
No problem.
Trevor McDonald's just come and sat there to me, all right?
I'm there. Happy.
Well, some of the, in amongst all this snow and everything else tonight, and blizzards all up the motorway, and some of the papers have actually arrived. Some of tomorrow morning's Sunday papers arrived. Now, those of you who are lucky enough to get your papers tomorrow, you'll be reading headlines like this. Actually, it's if you go to News of the World, because so far that's the first one that's right. We've also got a Sunday Telegraph. They don't usually get large banner headlines in it. So the ones we've selected for tomorrow morning, basically, there's one here from, I think, the second page of tomorrow morning's News of the World. It says, I get no kicks from making love, says the Iron Man of karate. We ask, is the Iron Man going a bit rusty? And... even I don't understand that one. The further headline reads, Vice Cops runs up £275 dinner bill. I expect they've been getting much too fond of porn cocktail. But finally something for, went down like a lead balloon. No, that was a mistake, you spelt it wrong. Finally, something for those of you who are really far too intellectual to watch a programme like this at all.
Correct. Between what years... I started, so I'll finish. Between what years did Shakespeare write his sonnets?
1595 to 1605.
Correct. And you scored a total of 47 points. You passed on 3. His second sonnet dealt with the effects of age. The tyrant referred to in this sonnet, which begins, but wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant, is of course time. And in sonnet 87, love is defined as thou blind fool. Thank you very much, Albert Simkis. And the final scores are: in fourth place, Gary Guinness with 23 points. In third place was Fred Tango with 27 points. The runner-up was Helen Houseboat with 31 points. But our winner tonight with 47 points is the civil servant from Liverpool, Mr. Albert Simkis.
I did it! I did it, me! 47 points, the most anybody's ever scored! What did you know about the Roman invasion of Britain, eh? And you, a school teacher, only got 27 points. Wouldn't send my kids to your school, pal. And you, servo-crocheted artifacts from 1630 to the quarter to 5. Pathetic. Here. Got that, darling. I did it! Albert Simpkins did it! I showed you it! I showed you